I just recorded one of these last night, but I wanted to add texture, more substance, more thoughts towards this feeling. There was a quote in a show that I was watching that it really stuck out to me. It was something I was watching forever ago. The show Arrow. It's one of the only like superhero type shit that I like because it's not really superheroes. I guess it's definitely more of a drama of some sort, but soap opera attached with like crime fighting and superhero fight scenes. They're not fucking powers though, you know what I mean? It's just like a man fucking taking people down for vengeance or whatever. But the Arrow, Mr. Queen, gets stuck on an island for 5 years, right? Has a whole experience there, comes back, lives, right? Everyone thought he was dead. On the island, he met a man, and due to the circumstances, they were trying to escape, and they were building a radio because they were trapped on the island, right? By these Russians or something, Austrians or something. And as they were building the radio, they tuned in to a station and they were hearing like code and they got really excited and they're like, holy shit. And so they were like, okay, they ran to the radio and they ran and immediately started like, hello, 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 right? Like started calling out and no one responded. They just kept talking like they were uninterrupted. And Oliver Queen, uh, his friend on the island, Slade Wilson, said, they can't hear us and we can't call out. They can't hear us and we can't call out. I mean, maybe I should have titled that, titled this, or titled the live this, but due to our current way of connecting, you could say, communicating, bridging worlds, we're going to start seeing, and we are seeing, a completely isolated point of view from these screens. I'm freaking yawning and crying. But we're going to see a completely isolated access and view from the screens because of the way it's set up, where it's an algorithm implemented with AI, where this is a side note. This is a pet peeve of mine where people talk about AI and like, oh, I'm so anti AI. Fuck AI, right? I see it all over my sorry, there it is. I see it all over my algorithm, all these AI videos, right? And people think of AI like that, like surface level people, surface level thinkers think of AI as a something I can summon, like an image, a video, or text, or writing prompts, which it can, yes. Um, but no one truly like use or like I think processes how AI is used for their algorithm and how it learns you and how it probably is staring at you and listening to you. Um, so when I say we can't or they can't hear us and we can't call out is the people we're trying to reach for whatever reason towards this sort of not necessarily a revolution, but some sort of conversation where we begin to look at the things happening as something that we should truly talk about and be vulnerable with and not try to understand it. There was, I don't know who it was, but I remember hearing on some sort of talk or whatever about how, you know, the way we measure our universe and our world is completely unfathomable for like the average person who doesn't go into the field of science with like the field of quantum physics or becomes a physicist of any sort. It's I had someone who was I was just texting some dude. I don't text him anymore, but I was texting him, and you have things you want to talk about, and I guess he doesn't, or other people do too, right? I guess a commonality I find in my life is I end up having to fuel every fucking conversation. I'm not against it, but it's just like, are y'all this fucking boring? Are y'all this fucking stale, right? So, the way this conversation would inevitably go would, I would try to play towards the mm, play towards the his side of the conversation, but there was no real details. A lot of buzzwords. He was into cars, or he wanted to change his life and build habits, new habits, right? And all I could say, we're texting, right? All I could text was my advice, things that, helped me, my perspective. And that eventually led me to like why we probably feel this way, you know? And I realized I was talking about it last night in my last live, and I realized that even if I'm fueling this conversation, I still have my direction I want to take it, right? Towards um, not necessarily an informational or educational place, but a place where we can discuss something, not a matter of fact, but discuss our ideas and, agree or disagree on things, right? So this dude, I was we were I was just talking about how he is trying to constantly put a reason for everything or have some sort of attention towards it, right? Thinking about it being seen, whatever he does, whatever he changes in his life, whatever habit or hobby he starts building, right? And that would eventually lead me to just like talking about how language, you know, uses or loses its value when you start to get into these areas of um, exploration, simply because people can say shit to you, but you got to do it, right? To feel it, to experience it. And I guess that I guess he was confused by that. Like, he's confused by not talking and just acting, right? I think a lot of people are. I think I am at times. It's a very hard thing to wrap your mind around to just do, right? But he eventually was like, or we eventually got to the point about how, like, I think the universe or the world or whatever is controlled by no one. It's just chaos, and you know, we try to give some sort of form to help smooth out our experience as a human collective. Because I mean, from our understanding of consciousness literally just forms things, right? Regardless if they're good or evil or bad or right or no, doesn't matter. It just forms things. It's all about how we see it and perceive it and act upon it, use our will. And he goes, well, I think, the universe is mathematically driven, right? It's all numbers. and I just disagreed with him. But I took a long time explaining it, but that's the point. I was trying to like think why that bothered me because of his content, of his character, because in a non-mean way, like he is not necessarily a scholar, not in school. Um, I don't think he had a job at the time, but he works jobs like me, kind of just jobs to get by, right? You're not fucking working these high-end jobs because your college degree, right? Or you're insanely well gifted in math. No, but I just was like, how is that his thought? Like, how is that his agreement? So I was like, does he involve himself with numbers a lot? And he couldn't give me a reason. And I was like, oh, of course, right? And I realized that people can't give you fucking reasons anymore. It's easier to just be like, oh, let me show you, right? Never let me explain to you. And the people who can't give me reasons, and the people who don't even attempt to express themselves, or they give the bare minimum, where it sort of allows you to express yourself, and your expression alone just sort of carries their vitality within them, like they're vicariously living through you, through your ideas. That behavior, I think, is repeating a lot amongst many people, and it's. I think it's only going to get more trivial as well, um, where we're arguing without giving reasons over like I don't even know, like over just over shit that just like is so human of us, making a mistake, being at non-time, being inconvenient compared to the electrical grid, electrical screens, because we exist within a world of instantaneous communication, access to instantaneous stimulation and entertainment, which an overabundance of something. Like, I remember reading a book. I have the book. It's under all my other books right now, but what is it? Oh yeah, it's that. It's a Terrence McKenna, Food of the Gods. Really good book. I might reread it just before I give it back to the library. But it was talking about how like um, I don't know if it's more primitive man, like tribal tribes and stuff, but just like it was documented amongst like uh, I think tribes like um, where sugar would be eaten in abundance, over in abundance, and it would make their stomachs so upset because they've ate it so much, and they would eventually throw it up, and then not eat the throat, but they would eat more sugar after, just to like replenish it because it was so addicting. And I guess in a sense of the access we have now, you can't necessarily talk about the content of what we have access to. Like, I'm not sitting here and giving you a lecture on the details of, the Native Americans and the Old West and, the Machiavelli, or the fucking, I don't even know, Masks of God or something. Or, I'm not sitting here giving you a lecture about facts and statistics. I'm giving you a lecture about um, these processes that are happening within. our environment within our social circles. And I don't know if I'm ahead of my time, but I don't. No, I'm joking. But I think I think I just need to, find some crowds where we can talk more abstractly about these things. And I definitely have found people, and I'm very thankful for the people I found and the experiences I've had with conversations. But eventually those conversations end, those days and those nights end, and you come back home. And what's home? What's lying for you there? Is it your screens, your games, your drugs, your sugar? And I realized there's nothing back home for people. There's not much back home in people's lives. Something else I notice is I was talking to a man yesterday, and he was a burger, cook. He was on the grill working the burgers at Steak and Shake. Which, if you haven't been in the new Steak and Shake where they've kind of upgraded it all, go check out Steak and Shake. It's fucking sick. I love a good burger. I love a good chicken finger, fried properly with some fries and some cheese. And really solid place. I know it's fast food. I know. Still good. Still a Westerner. Um, but I asked him. I was like, has it changed since these upgrades for the cooking oil and this new way you're systemizing your production, which is you walk in, you order on a kiosk, wait for your number, or you go through the drive-through and you order online. So I walk in, I order my food, whatever. The only people that were in there sitting, not even people, one person, a homeless man I previously saw walking um, while I was walking towards Goodwill. And he was sitting there charging his phone, drinking whatever he was drinking. And then it was me, right? Here's a few things I noticed. I noticed the amount of drive-through people. I noticed the amount of door dashers or delivery people who came in and were like, I'm here to pick up this and to deliver it. There was more of those than there were people who wanted to sit down. There was no one that came and sit down. There was two other people that came eventually and sat down. One of them was a kid younger than me, maybe my age, who just had no fucking aliveness to him. He was looking at his phone the whole time. And there was another old man who seemed like he was holding on, surviving. Not frustrated, but he was like, of course he ordered wrong on the electric kiosk, and he had to get a change. But I just thought that was like synchronistic to the moment. Anyway, I start talking to this cook, and I was like, he said, yeah, we're just getting more deliveries, or pickups and door drive-throughs. And I was like, yeah, man, no one wants to fucking sit down and concentrate. And then I kind of like proposed the idea. I was like, man, if every place starts to fucking do this, where they're prioritizing convenience, where you're sitting at home or eating in your car, I mean, that's like nothing changes. You have no variety. You're just like a useless eater, coated in the stimulation of the same environments you live in. And he didn't seem too bothered, because I think older people, older men, they've had these thoughts that I've had as a younger guy, a younger man, a younger person. They kind of just realize yeah, man, that's how it is, right? And for me, when we have this relationship with our environment, where we aim to add to our contentment, where we aim to never step out of our own environment and to completely completely decorate it how we want at all times, in control of this strict circle that is our environment, mentally and physically. Outside of that would become the new sort of luxury in a way, right? Freedom freedom amongst all those strict perspectives that are kind of wanting to hold their environment instead of openly walk through others, right? I saw an Elon Musk tweet or post on X or whatever that, I mean, it made sense, but I thought it made like too much sense, and like it almost made me excited. When we have more and more and more AI self-driving cars, when that's all we have, traffic will become worse because you're not driving, you're not dealing with the traffic, you're sitting in the back while these things drive us. Isn't that a thought, first of all? With the overabundance of cars and vehicles, you would think that more people would give more rides to people. I like not driving. I like other people driving me because I think driving is, I mean, sure, it's fun, thrilling, but I mean, it doesn't really serve a purpose unless I'm like genuinely traveling, right? Genuinely traveling distance. I think on a much more local level, I think we should fucking walk, ride a bike or something. But even then, you can't because people steal shit all the time now, you know? And that's just kind of a part of it, which is weird, but this is random. I hope I get canceled eventually. People come back and they're like, what the? Can we talk about how many fucking fat people there are? I was at Walmart, got some new canvases, got some new paint. There's more fat people, obese people, not even fat, obese people than there were healthy, fit people. I'm not saying I'm healthy or fit, but I'm not obese, I'm not fat. And fat is beautiful, sure. To each their own. Maybe that's just the new normal. Maybe I'm just, maybe I should jump on and get fat. But it's just an observation. There's no good or evil, and it's just like it's a lot of fat people, a lot of woke people. Carry on, carry on. Listen to me. Don't listen to me. Direct your energy. Direct your energy. The tension is rising. Sooner or later, we will be forced by circumstance to devote ourselves to an action, to a take, to a place. Carry on.